Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to my 4-week post-op, post-VSG update. I am really excited to be here because I feel like it's been a long time and I like it when we talk. Things over here are feeling really good. I'll get right into it with my stats. So I had a vertical sleeve gastrectomy on October 20th in Morristown, New Jersey at Morristown Medical Center with Dr. Michael Nussbaum. My starting weight was 265, that was my high weight, and today I am 237.6, which means it is a total loss of 27.4 pounds, and from last week, 2.4. So I'm happy because a lot of people around 3 or 4 weeks experience a stall. I haven't yet gotten there. I've definitely slowed down, right? Because like first week was like 16, then 4 something, and now like 2 something. So that's okay. I mean, if I am like 1 to 2 pounds every week for a year, I would be so happy. So this is totally good. I feel great. And I feel like for the first time I'm starting to like notice a difference in the way that I look. Like my clothes feel a little bit looser and like, not like I feel like, oh my gosh, I look like a totally different person, but I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh, I look good today. Kind of that feeling where you have when you're like, oh, I'm having a really good hair day, except it's like every day. You're like, I look good today. Look at that. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Also, I went to my endocrinologist, who I hadn't seen since July, so definitely before my surgery, and she had been seeing me every like 3 to 4 months-ish, but we had pushed this one out to November because of the surgery, and she did my blood work, and the blood work was really done at like 2.5 weeks post-op, and then I saw her at like 3.5 weeks post-op. But anyway, so all these results are from just like 2.5 weeks after the surgery, and a lot of good news. So my cholesterol has gone down, my triglycerides have come way down, and most importantly, my A1C has come down a lot. So thereby confirming that I am no longer diabetic and hopefully soon no longer even at risk for diabetes due to obesity. So just thrilled because it's only going to keep getting better from here. Yay! Okay. This week was crazy for me. Like there were so many unusual, every day was unusual. No day was the routine or normal. And so, you know, that's life, right? I mean, things are always going to happen. There's always going to be an event. Somebody wants to hang out. I mean, like you can't avoid that. You shouldn't try to avoid that, right? You have to live your life, and this surgery and like this lifestyle is just part of it. It's part of your life. It's part of you. And so you have to roll with it. And so, I'm sure as the holidays come, this is just going to continue happening. But for me, it was like back to back to back to back. So the thing is I'm keeping the surgery secret. Like nobody knows except for my mom and my husband and 2 friends from home, one of whom had the surgery himself. So nobody knows. And I think if I weren't keeping it a secret, all of this would be much easier. But we'll talk about why I'm keeping it secret in a moment. But first I want to tell you about all the crazy things that happened. So I had my last update with you guys on Thursday. Then Friday, my coworkers really wanted to take me out to lunch, separate reason. And we had always talked about this burger place, and so they like whisked me off to lunch. And I was so nervous because at this point I've only had like protein shakes. I haven't had any food at all. Well, like some super mashed cottage cheese and some peanut butter, you know, but no like chewing, no food. And so I was so nervous, and so I like looked at the menu online first, and I was like, okay, protein. Probably the best way to go is either like a tuna slider or a chicken wing, but it's gonna look really silly if I only eat like 1 chicken wing. I mean, the tuna sliders are like this big. I mean, they're small. I've been there before, but I decided to order one of those. In fact, I called ahead of time and I asked them how big the tuna sliders were, and they said like 2 to 3 ounces, and I know they're just grilled, so this is perfect. I ordered just 1 tuna slider, which I think as like a normal person looking at that, it looks kind of ridiculous, and then I opened it and just like ate the tuna, not the bread, and with like a fork, and it took me like an hour while we were talking. So my coworkers were like super nice, very respectful. They didn't say anything except afterwards one of my coworkers was like, you had a really light lunch, you're gonna be hungry again soon. I was like, I'm okay, you know, I'm fine. And that was it, right? Whew. So crisis averted, no like weird comments, no issues with eating too, right? Because I was like, I hope I don't like have a terrible reaction. But the tuna was really mild, totally fine. Okay, so that was Friday. Then on Saturday, or was it Sunday? It was Saturday. It was Saturday. There was a weight loss surgery meetup in New York City. Here's a picture. I met all these fantastic people, and it was so cool. But of all the people who were there, I was the most recent post-op, and so everybody else could eat basically except for me. And we were in Bryant Park, and it was really beautiful. It was so cold. It was freezing. I'm always freezing now, but it was really nice, and they had a lot of like booths and shops set up. So we walked around and talked, and everybody was kind of snacking on things, and it's cool to see like people further out. Like they really eat like so small amounts, even 6, 7, 8, 9 months out. So that was really encouraging. They did try to tempt me with some chocolate, you know who you are, but I resisted, and everything was fine. So that was good. But I also like super prepared. Like I had a little cooler in my car with like some yogurt and a protein shake and an extra bottle of water and some cheese. Like I didn't know how long we were going to be there. I didn't know what the plans were. So I tried to be like as prepared as possible. So that day went fine too. Then on Sunday, some other friends that are going out of town and I'm not going to see them for a while were like, hey, let's go to brunch. So they suggested a couple restaurants. I looked them up online, and there were these 2 places that were like Hispanic. One was Cuban. I picked that one because they had on the menu, I thought this is going to be perfect. It was like just like beans and 2 poached eggs. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to eat all that, but I mean, those are the kinds of things I'm going to be eating in a week or 2, so I can do that. It'll be like really slow, and I'll just mush it up and we'll talk and it'll be fine. Well, when we got there, they ordered me an empanada because apparently that is the best thing on the menu. Here's what it looks like. And I ate it, and I felt terrible. I ate it so fast too, you guys. It was so good. Here's the thing, I thought when they ordered empanadas and they're like, it's the best thing ever, you have to have it. I was like, oh God, I got really nervous. I like really almost had like a panic attack. My heart started pounding, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just open it up and just like eat the meat from the inside. No meat. This was a guava empanada with like cream cheese. It was so good, but like totally sweet, right? I mean, this is like jelly. It's like sugar, and I haven't had any in a very long time. So I was so nervous, and I just like ate it really fast, and I didn't eat like the crust around the edge, but I ate like all the inside. And then I felt not like full in my belly, but like I couldn't breathe. Like it was in my throat. I wanted to throw up almost to just like get it out of there. It was like I couldn't. It was horrible. It was bad. And then I took a sip of water, and I was like, no, wait, what happens when you dip some bread and some water? It just expands. This is going to get worse. Like, so I like immediately got up, went to the bathroom, and was like, hopefully I can throw up. But I didn't like, try to throw up. I just kind of waited. And then I waited, and then it passed. But I was like, my heart was pounding. I was like sweating. It was bad. So then I came back, and then there are my eggs with like the rice and the beans and all this. And like, I felt like I couldn't eat another bite. And my friends were looking at me. They're like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, no, I'm fine. And so they're like devouring their food. It was so good. And I'm just kind of looking around, and we're not talking because they're eating. And then they're like, what are you looking for? I'm not looking for anything. I'm just kind of, I was just like looking around, just waiting for this feeling to pass. And so eventually I like mixed up my food. I didn't touch the rice at all. I mixed up the beans and the egg, and I had like one bite, and it was still like right here, and then I had like another bite, and then I was done. And we had ordered coffee. I didn't even touch the coffee. I like took it to go because they're like, oh, this Cuban coffee is so good. So I guess lesson is, because they took me to a place that they really, really liked, they expected me to like eat every single bite, which normally pre-op I easily would have done. I mean, they were not very large portions at all. It was just, the empanadas what threw me off because I was like prepared. I had looked at the menu. Anyway, so then we like walked around. We were in Hoboken, and we like walked and walked and walked. I walked like almost 10 miles that day. And I mean, seriously, like 6, 7 hours later, I still was feeling it, but I felt better. So I came home and had a shake so I could like balance out my protein, and like tried to drink water, but I didn't finish. It was the only day I didn't get all my water. I just couldn't. Like, that day was rough. So then Monday was normal, finally, like a normal day. And then Tuesday, this old team that I used to work with invited me to their Thanksgiving potluck. I fortunately, like, I'm not part of that team. You know, when I was on that team, when we would have potlucks, I mean, the food was there all day, and you would eat all day, and you just like were stuffed all day. But because I'm not on that team, I just like went to visit them, said hi, and they're like, you know, make a plate, whatever. So, of course, they had ham and turkey, so I stuck to proteins. I had like a slice like this, super thin, of ham, and another like maybe 2 slices like that of turkey. Got some green beans and just like played around with them on my plate while I caught up with everybody and talked to them. And I did eventually eat it all, but I mean, I was there for like an hour, and it was such a small amount of food. They're like, get a go plate. I'm like, no, I'm good, I'm good. So, crisis averted there. I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel sick or anything. I kept my portions very small and really didn't have any bread. I mean, the issue with the empanada was, I think, the bread and like the sugar. So, anyway, Tuesday was okay. Then Wednesday night, I had this, networking event. Is this professional organization that I'm a part of, and they had their very first local New Jersey networking event at like a brewery. Okay, so you go there for the craft beers, and I mean, I was there for the networking, but I've never really been a beer drinker anyway. And here's the thing, I knew, because when we had a call about this event, I knew that they were going to have catering, like hors d'oeuvres passed around or whatever. So before, like midday, I called the restaurant, or the brewery, the restaurant part of the brewery, and asked them, hey, there's this event tonight. I'd like to know what menu items are part of the catering because I have dietary restrictions and I'd like to plan accordingly. Said that on the phone. And they said, oh no, there's no catering. Everybody's just going to order themselves. And the association's going to pay for it. And I said, oh, okay. So I looked at their menu and I saw what I would order. They had these like tuna, I don't know, tuna taco tiny things. I was like, okay, perfect. I'll just munch on some tuna. When I got there, of course it was catered. I knew that. They had flatbread pizza, which I did not dare go near. They had wonton things, which again, like having had this bread experience, I didn't touch. But they also had like guac and chips and I don't know, a few other things. But I saw the guac and I stuck with that, so I got like a little plate and had like maybe a 1/4 cup of guac with a fork because I didn't want to touch the chips. And I just kind of like let it melt in my mouth over the course of the like 2 hours that we were there. And I don't know if anybody was watching me. I guess it looked silly. I don't know. I feel like everyone noticed when I didn't order beer. But I mean, that could be for any reason, you know, not necessarily weight loss surgery related. So it was just weird to be in a brewery and order water. But I did, and it was fine. And the guac was okay too. So, yeah, totally off plan this week. For the most part, it was okay. One day was extra bad. And because of all this, I thought for sure time to stall on the scale. But despite all that, I'm down, what did I say, 2.4 pounds? So I feel good. I feel really good. And so here's the thing, if I weren't secret about it, all of this would be easier. People would help me. People would like respect me and like be concerned for me. And instead they're like, oh, what's wrong? Why aren't you eating? You know, and I don't know. I've never even thought about not keeping it secret. You know what I mean? I just feel like people would be in general so judgmental only because people don't know much about weight loss surgery. I think people think, you know, I think people only have exposure to like celebrities who have lost a lot of weight, like these. Right? So they think that like you go in fat, you come out gorgeous, and that's it. So if that were the case, it would be the easy way out. What they don't know is that that's not it at all. You go in fat and you come out weighing even more sometimes, usually, always. And so they don't know what it's like and what the process is and how hard it is. People in general also don't know my history, my medical history. They don't know how hard I've tried at this for 20 years. You know, so I feel like if you just meet somebody and they tell you, I mean, you, because you're watching this, are probably very familiar with weight loss surgery, but like random people don't know anything about it. So they think like, oh, she could have done diet and exercise, but instead she decided to have surgery. And I don't know. I don't want people to think that I'm lazy or that I haven't tried or that it's the easy way out. Here's the thing. It makes dieting easier, but you still have to diet. And And that's what they don't know. And I mean, you're not going to get into this and explain it to everybody. Also, they're not going to believe you, you know, if you're like, oh, I had weight loss surgery. It sounds cosmetic. It sounds like, oh, I got my lips injected, you know, like whatever, which is totally fine if you choose to do that. But like, that's a choice and it's cosmetic. And like, I don't know, I didn't do this for cosmetic reasons at all. I mean, the cosmetic thing is like, oh, I look better, that's great. But like, I was always fine with the way I looked. I was like the cute chubby girl. Guys liked me. I was married. Like, I am married happily. You know, like, to me, like, looking better was never a thing. I've always felt confident. Like, I've always, I don't know, like, the aesthetic appeal was never there for me. And so I think people thinking that that would be my reason is so foreign to my character. That's where I have a problem. So anyway, I don't think I'm going to tell anyone. And the holidays are coming up. I'm actually going to be in New Orleans, where my whole family lives, for the next 6 weeks because my office is being remodeled. I'm leaving on Monday. And I'm so excited because I get to see everyone for like all the events, not just like Thanksgiving and Christmas, which is usually all I get to attend, but like all the parties that happen in between. So I'm really excited, and maybe, hopefully, people will notice my weight loss. Fortunately, it's not like I haven't seen them in a year, and it's not like, oh, I've lost 100 pounds all of a sudden. I mean, at this point, I've lost like 30, 27 pounds. So maybe it won't seem so drastic. Maybe they won't question. But I don't know what I'm going to say if somebody asks me, hey, did you have weight loss surgery? I don't want to lie, but I don't want anybody to know. So I don't know what to say. I don't know, if people ask me, wow, like, I think they will say, like, oh, you've lost a lot of weight. I'm going to tell them I've been dieting and exercising, which is true. But they're also going to notice I'm not eating a lot. And I don't know. I hope it's not awkward. I hope it's not uncomfortable. I hope I don't have to lie to anybody. I hope I don't have to lie to anybody because I don't want to do that. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, I know a lot of people in this community do keep it secret. And so you guys tell me, has that been easy for you? Have people like outed you? I don't know. So anyway, that's where I am. Overall, I feel great. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate all of my followers and everybody who watches and comments. If you're not following me on Instagram, please do so because it's fun and I love following you guys too. So if you've subscribed to me on YouTube, I will subscribe back, and if you follow me on Instagram, I will follow you back as long as it's like weight loss surgery related or whatever. So thanks. I will talk with you. Oh, wait. Sunday is going to be my 1 month surgery, so I'm going to do like a special edition video with like skin flick and before and after pictures and measurements and stuff. It'll probably be a short one because I've told you all the things I needed to tell you just now. But stay tuned because that's coming on Sunday. So I will talk with you then. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Bye.